very crazy stuff going on. This video is mainly going to be me recounting all of the research I've done on the Bitcoin Renaissance narrative and all of the technical developments. If I think of anything while I'm kind of just spewing here, I'll take over to a screen share and show you some resources. I might end up doing that anyways. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Before I get into it, for those who do not know, my name is Jake Tullis. I also go by JT. I run and operate a crypto exclusive hedge fund or digital asset hedge fund out of Cincinnati, Ohio. I have 10 years of software development experience. If you want to learn about me, my experience, my companies, everything I got going on, you can locate that information in the banner photo, and always do your own research, not just on what I'm saying, but who I am. So you can understand my insights and if they're valuable or not, and if they come from a credible place or not. That is my number one recommendation to anybody. Always do your own research. Now, with that, let's get right into it. So, first thing to understand, and I made a video about this about a year ago, talking about Bitcoin being a dirty old grandma, and that's still true. That has not changed. Bitcoin will not change. It has a 7 to 12 transaction per second throughput. It is proof of work, which is the most energy demanding and slowest consensus method out there. And it's old. Moore's law, right? Every 18 months, technology doubles. Well, we're you couldn't tell by now, we're in the exponential growth period of that. Since the first computer to present day, it's almost 60 years. But that also means a 10-year-old project, doubling every 18 months, is more like 24 years old. Bitcoin's 15 years old. It's almost a 40-year-old piece of technology in terms of what it's competing against. If you were to compare the highest throughput EVM parallelized thing to Bitcoin, it is that old, right? And that's just the nature of Moore's Law and the technology. It just goes really, really fast. So I need you to understand that so then you can understand what the hell's going on. Okay? Because now we have layer twos, we have DeFi tokens, which is crazy, and we have NFTs on top of Bitcoin, which is not a smart contract platform. There is no code like that, no logic in Bitcoin. I mean, there's logic, but it's just a ledger, okay? And it send and receive. That's it. Some really smart people have basically jerry-rigged Bitcoin to allow all of this functionality. Casey Rodmore is a guy you need to look into. He has changed Bitcoin forever with his ordinals protocol, which has allowed for both inscriptions and runes. Runes are DeFi tokens embedded directly into a Satoshi. So you can mint tokens by buying a Satoshi and using the ordinals protocol, which is just crazy. So now there's DeFi tokens called runes, and they're being listed on exchanges through ICP, and eventually that'll be bridged everywhere, and people will be able to speculate on runes, no different than they speculate on meme coins and shit coins on Solana, Ethereum, Base, and everywhere else. So now we have meme coins and shit coins. That's their only purpose. They have no functionality. They have no smart contract functionality. There's no utility. They are just memes. So you all are aware. But Bitcoin is now, allowing that, which is crazy. No one in the world thought that would be possible. Then basically the same idea. No different than runes. It's in a different part of the block of Bitcoin, but basically Ordinals protocol can allow you to write to a Bitcoin block and put images in there, which have turned into NFTs with its own marketplace and everything else. So, with no ability to do either of those functions, Casey has been able to develop code that has allowed Bitcoin to facilitate both of those activities, which is just pure genius, but there are some serious consequences, and that's what I am getting to in this video. Fees are approaching $200 a transaction. Bitcoin is not engineered to deal with this much demand. We will never be able to get out of this unless we figure out a way to scale Bitcoin. That leads us to layer twos. But what I want you to understand is this is a serious thing. If we don't figure this out, if there's no layer two that can support this behavior, to take it off of the layer one. We're running into a situation where for us to have a billion users on Bitcoin, as an example, you might be spending $5,000 to transfer and wait much longer than traditional finance because it's just not fast enough for this kind of stuff. Ergo, layer twos. Layer twos are buckets of code, as I describe here on this channel, but essentially just here's Bitcoin, here's a thing, a bucket of code, okay? Like Merlin, Stacks, Lightning, lots of attempts at it. Bit EVM, tons. And what they are doing now is trying to take pieces of Bitcoin off the layer one, like we did in Ethereum, right? And isolate a layer two to only do that one function. So it is possible that someone figures this layer two solution out, builds an app, right, that can utilize zero knowledge rollups technology, no different than Ethereum, to submit every 30 minutes a batch order into Bitcoin and reduce the demand of the layer one. Okay. Um, Excellent in theory, but again, Bitcoin is not built for this stuff. If we keep improving demand, computational demand on Bitcoin and demand for its block spaces with more use cases for its blocks without figuring this out, it is doomsday for Bitcoin, unfortunately. Although I have faith we will figure it out. I really do. The nice thing about this, and there are positives. I don't mean to be doomy and gloomy. The positive is, really, you're going to have you're going to have miners making a lot of money on fees. And with the halving getting more and more extreme, we went from 6.25 to 3.1, or maybe it's 6.25, yeah, to 3.125. That's what it is. And then after this next one, so in 4 years' time, that's even less. And then after that, it's basically moot. We're just talking about decimals of decimals. So they need income. They need revenue for supporting Bitcoin. It's just it can't be at the expense of the retail user. The current way it's working. I have faith this will all flesh out, but this is probably the sketchiest Bitcoin has felt in a long time. Um, and the community is getting divided over it. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I recommend you do your own research, on everything you've heard today. Um, I think this is cool though. Okay, I think it's very cool. I am constantly looking for Bitcoin Renaissance. Oh, that's the last thing. All of this is Bitcoin Renaissance. That is the narrative that all of this falls under. So Bitcoin being revitalized and being re-engineered and repurposed to do all this cool stuff and everything in that ecosystem and all the developers and engineers that are working towards this end. Super interesting, but no, Bitcoin Foundation is wishy-washy on it, and it is definitely separating the community into two camps. I don't know who will win, but either way, I'm a big fan of Bitcoin. I'm going to be holding it until I give it to my kids. So, um, just be aware of the state Bitcoin's in. It's important to know this stuff because on my channel, what we do is we talk about the fundamentals of assets as a result of my research for my fund to help you be better educated on what you're actually investing in. And if you're here for that message and everything you just learned, please hit the like and sub because it would mean the world to me. We're so close to 1,000 subs. So pumped about that. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here since day one. I love seeing your comments and interacting with you. It's been an absolute treat. So thank you. And until next week, that's the scoop on Bitcoin. Have a good one, guys. Take care of one another. Peace and love.